Alright, so we have another question on this type. Let's read the question stem. Which finding, if true, would most directly support the student's claim? So directly support the claim, and also this phrase, if true. Okay, pay attention to this as well. So this kind of a phrase, if true, if you find in a question stem, and if you find something like directly support a particular claim, you should know you're dealing with a command of evidence textual type of a question. Right now, the previous one said illustrates the claim. This one is saying supports the claim, right? So this kind of a wording, remember, is going to lead you to this question type. All right, now in order to understand what can directly support the student's claim, the most obvious thing to do is we have to know the student's claim, right? What is the student really claiming? Let's read the text for this. Born in 1891 to a Q-speaking family in the Andes Mountains of Peru, Chambi is today considered to be one of the most renowned figures of Latin American photography. Okay, so this person, Chambi, some information has been given about this person, in which kind of family was he and where, is today considered to be the most renowned figures. So what is his position in today's world? That's been told to me, and what is his profession has also been hinted towards, right? Latin American photography, renowned figures of Latin American photography. So he's probably a photographer. In a paper for an art history class, a student claims, so here comes the claim, so be extra careful over here, read very attentively, right? What is the student claiming? That Chambi's photographs have considered ethnographic value in his work. Right, so what kind of photographs Chambi was taking? That's what he's talking about, right? The photographs have considered some ethnographic value. It's okay if you don't know the meaning of ethnographic. You don't have to understand it to get your answer. You'll know in some time how. In his work, Chambi was able to capture diverse elements of Peruvian society, representing his subjects with both dignity and authenticity. Now this dash over here tells me that the explanation of the ethnographic value is going to come up after the dash, right? So it's okay if you don't know the meaning of ethnographic value, you will be getting a hint towards it in the latter part of the text, right? Now what is it that the Chambi's photographs did? Right, the photographs captured diverse elements of Peruvian society, so there were diverse elements of this society, representing his subjects. How was he representing his subjects? With dignity and authenticity, right? With this diversity, he was able to represent his subjects in a certain manner, okay? I have to further find an option that says the same thing, right? It's just we have to prove this further, right? So which option out of these four can really tell me that this is the type of photography Chambi did, right? Let's go to A. Chambi took many commissioned portraits of wealthy Peruvians. So he took portraits of these wealthy Peruvians, but he also produced hundreds of images carefully documenting the peoples, sites, and customs of indigenous communities of the Andes. So this basically tells me about the diversity. Remember what the student claimed over here? The Chambi was able to capture diverse elements of the Peruvian society. So this is what the diversity looks like, right? Wealthy Peruvians, but also hundreds of images documenting the people, sites, and customs of the indigenous communities, right? So I'm going to hold on to this option because I feel like this is talking about the diversity and it's further supporting the claim made by the student. Now I'm going to go ahead and start eliminating my other options, see if I can eliminate them. Now let's go to B. Chambi's photographs demonstrate a high level of technical skill. Okay, so this is talking about the technicalities, right? Like, okay, so his pictures, the photographs that he took were displaying that, it showed that he has a high level of technical skill. Okay, as seen in his strategic use of illumination to create dramatic light and shadow contrast. So all technicalities, right? But the student in the text talked more about the value of his photographs, not about the technicalities, correct? So this doesn't talk about the value, it talks about the technicalities. I'm going to eliminate B. Let's go to C. During his lifetime, Chambi was known and celebrated both within and outside his native Peru, as his work was published in places like Argentina, Spain, and Mexico. Now this option tells me how was he celebrated, or which places was he celebrated at, right? So Chami was known and celebrated both within and outside his native place. Is this talking about the ethnographic value explained in the text by the student? Is it talking about the values of the photographs taken by Chami? No, right? It's just telling me about where all he was famous and why. Correct? Because he was published in places like these, he was known within and outside his native place. Okay, but I am not looking for an option which tells me how famous he was. I'm looking for an option that talks about his photographs and the value of his photographs, right? The ethnographic value, the diversity of his photographs. So I'm going to eliminate C for this reason. Let's go to D. Some of the peoples and places Chami photographed had long been popular subjects for Peruvian photographers. So this talks about the subjects of Chami's photographs, right? And that, remember, it's only talking about some of the people and places that he photographed. It's not talking about the overall view of his photographs. So what happened to some of those people or places, or what kind of some people or places he chose, is not relevant, right? I'm talking about something that had to do with the overall photographs he took, right? So Chami's photographs have considerable ethnographic value. So it means that the overall photographs that he took, we are more interested to know about the overall picture. We are not interested to know about some of the characters in his photographs and some of the places in his photographs. So this is out as well. So the only option that makes sense is choice A, which talks about the diversity. That's all.